Hey there, friends. We talk often about how a lot of these so-called conservative Republicans and so-called Second Amendment supporters really aren't Second Amendment supporters, only use that to get their foot in the door, and they usually talk about hunting and other stupid things like that. Now these people aren't even hiding it anymore. They're coming out and attacking pro-gun bills that have already passed.
Concerns over gun violence obviously continue to grow in our community, and now one Alabama lawmaker is introducing legislation he hopes will help. The bill would return some teeth to Alabama's existing gun laws. You may remember that in 2022, state lawmakers made Alabama's concealed carry law less stringent. It said that anyone over 19 can carry concealed handguns without a permit, without a background check, and without any training. Now, one Montgomery lawmaker, a Republican, says looking back, that was, quote, a bad bill. So Representative Reed Ingram has filed new legislation that instead would require someone to be 21 to conceal carry. They would also have to pass a hunter safety course or get a permit from the sheriff's office. And Ingram says if police encounter someone with a concealed handgun, that person would have to have a valid form of ID to prove they can legally have that gun.
In some instances now, you pull over somebody and they're a passenger in the car and they have no ID. They're saying, hey, I'm 18 years old, and they may not be. You know, a lot of the kids look older now. And so this bill will take it to where if you don't have an ID, the law enforcement to have the option to take the gun and hold it until they come in and show their ID.
Representative Ingram says the bill would also allow officers to check to see if that gun is stolen. It has not been filed yet, and because there are only 5 working days left in the legislative session, it is unlikely to pass this year.
They claim that this new bill puts teeth into the constitutional carry bill. No, it doesn't. It totally dismantles it. It does away with it. If you're going to now require someone to be 21 to carry, and they have to pass a hunter safety course and get a permit, that's not permitless carry. You can say this is still constitutional carry, but you have to be 21 and get a permit in order to carry? Really? That's not permitless, and that's not constitutional. And the example that he gives where he talks about the passenger not having an ID, but they might be armed, right? Just because he can't tell what age they are, not sure that the guy is of age that he says he is. So you're wanting to pass a bill now that says that you can violate this guy's, not only his Second Amendment, but the Fourth Amendment pertaining to this young man also, or young woman, just because you don't believe they are the age that they are. They've not committed a crime. They're not in the commission of a crime. They're not being arrested. They've done nothing wrong. You're just not sure if you believe they're the age they are, so you want to assume they're a criminal, disarm them, assume they probably stole their gun because you're going to check and see if it's stolen, right? You're doing the noble thing. This is worse than a red flag gun law. Hear what I'm saying. This is worse than a red flag gun law. A red flag gun law, although it avoids any type of due process and makes you prove your innocence when somebody accuses you of something, at least a judge is involved. Not saying that's good. All red flag gun laws are unconstitutional. But they do involve a judge at some point, no matter how unconstitutional it might be. This process eliminates the involvement of a judge and means the person on the scene is the judge and decides at that point if they're going to institute this new quasi-red flag gun law on you and disarm you until they can figure out how old you are and if your property is stolen or not. So what if I have an iPhone? Do you confiscate that too because you're not sure if I stole that? What other things do you get to keep because you're not sure if I stole them? If I have anything of value on me, do you take that and just assume I must have stolen everything just because I can't prove how old I am to you? I looked over at Bearing Arms at Cam Edwards' write-up on this same story, and he brought out some interesting things. He states, so that's all that's needed to eliminate violence? If that's the case, then why did Montgomery, Alabama have 77 homicides in 2021, the year before constitutional carry took effect? Murders declined to 62 in 2022, the year that Governor Kay Ivey signed constitutional carry into law, but increased to 75 last year. So we go from 77 to 62 to 75. This is before and after constitutional carry was put into law. How do you assume somehow that this had any effect on homicides or murders? I'm not saying Cam Edwards is wrong. I'm saying he's right by pointing this out. How do these politicians in Alabama make this jump that just because there's a movement up or down in murders, that constitutional carry or permitless carry had anything to do with that? I mean, let's face it. The criminals were already carrying. The presence of a gun doesn't make you more susceptible to commit a crime. Most of the people who suddenly started carrying guns because now it was legal per the state of Alabama, those are not criminals. The criminals already carried their guns. So the increase in people who are carrying guns now are the good people, the ones who are obeying your law before to keep them disarmed without a permit. So to imply that somehow the crime rate might go up is one, ignorant and stupid, because you're assuming the criminals followed that law before, but it's also very, very telling, and really I think it's very stereotypical and bigoted to assume that now just because somebody carries a gun that they're too stupid to follow the law and now they just might go out and kill people just because they're able to carry a gun now. Wouldn't constitutional carry or permitless carry actually increase the amount of self-defense use of handguns, not homicides? I think I'm thinking right, and I think these politicians are thinking wrong. I think the clock is ticking on this politician in Alabama. I think everybody in his area, this guy has been running unopposed, so easy wins for him. He thinks that just because he has coffee at the local diner, shakes a couple of hands, that everybody's going to fall in lockstep behind him. Somebody needs to put a challenger up that is a true constitutionalist and a true Second Amendment supporter. And I will help support them. I will back them. But somebody has to be that candidate. Somebody has to put somebody up in Alabama. I'm 3 states over from you guys. I'm not going to be able to do it from here. But I will help you as much as I can from here to promote that person and get this clown out of here that's been running unopposed and taking advantage of the people in Alabama. And right now, he's attempting to unravel years of work to put permitless carry in place in the state of Alabama.
God save the Queen, man.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. He's over.